Students, in today's class, let us start with the new poem. The name of the poem is For a 5 Years Old, written by the famous poetess Fleur Adcock. Okay, students, let us start the poem. Students, before we start the poem, let us start the introduction about this poem. Have you ever seen these insects closely? Observe carefully these pictures. Name the creatures in this poem. Name the creature in this poem. Who is the speaker of the poem? Do you know? The speaker of the poem is the mother of the kid. The mother of the kid is poetess. So the kid is 5 years old. Dear students, let us know about the poet Fleur Adcock. Fleur Adcock is a poet and an editor. Was born in 1934 in New Zealand, England. Now she was 86 years old. She studied in Victoria University of Wellington. So the famous works are the Faber books of 20th century, and some of the famous books are The Eyes of Hurricane, The Tigers, High Tides in the Garden, Meeting of the Comet, the Faber book of 20th century, and the Gloss. These are some of the famous works of the Fleur Adcock. Okay students, and enjoy the poem. This poem is very beautiful and there is a rhyme scheme. All of you observe it and understand the poem neatly, and that gives us a message to our life. Okay, let us read and enjoy the poem. A snail is climbing up the windowsill into your room after a night of rain. You call me in to see, and I explain that it would be unkind to leave it there. It might crawl to the floor. We must take care that no one squashes it. You understand? And carry it outside with careful hand to eat a daffodil. I see then that a kind of faith prevails. Your gentleness is molded still by words. From me who have trapped mice and shot wild birds, and from me who drowned your kittens, who betrayed your closest relatives, and who pervade the harshest kind of truth to many other. And that is how things are. I am your mother, and we are kind to snails. Okay students, so read this poem and understand the difficult word. Now I will give you the word meaning. Okay, what do you mean by kind? Kind means karune, friendly and generous. Now I was given you a word formation so that all of you frame sentence to that in your own. Okay, next one is parve. Parve means wadagisu, spread or promote. Next word is squash. What do you mean by squash? So squash means hinduvudu, to crush something to juice. So in the orange fruit, so you make it squash, so at that moment you get the juice of that. Okay, next one is crawl. Crawl means tevalu, move forward on hands or knees. So when you are a child, at that moment, so you are not able to walk, so at that moment, so you move forward with the help of the hands and with your knees. Windowsill. Windowsill means kitikiya anchu. Students, you already seen the windowsill, isn't it? You observe that. So that is the lower wooden frame of the window. And next one is daffodil. So daffodils is a flower. So that is very beautiful and that is in yellow color. So that blooms in the early spring season. So still means even now. So these are some of the difficult word meaning. Okay students. Students, now I will give you the explanation about this poem. So in this poem, the poet ironically points out the contradictions in our day-to-day dealings of life. She points out that difference between what we preach and how we act. She ironically points out that by nature human beings do not practice what they preach. But the poet illustrates this human behavior by narrating a fictitious episode in which she images her 5 years old child calling out to her. After it, that sees a snail climbing up the windowsill after a rainy night. The mother is here, the poetess, goes to the child's room and explaining that it would be unkind to leave it there because it might climb down to the floor. So it is better to take care of it before someone unknowingly squashes it. She asks the child to pick it up carefully and carry it outside to the garden and leave it there to feed on daffodil flowers. So the next stanza, second stanza, the poet wonders why such a kind of faith still prevails where people prevails that the character is built by mere words of advice than by actions of others. She feels sad because the child believed in her words and acted gently with the snail. She feels sad but amazed because the child believed the words of her mother and who was actually not gentle in her nature or by her actions. The mother had taken her words seriously, even though it knew that the mother had drawn the child's kitten and been her close off relative. The harsh truth is that it is human nature to preach one thing and practice the another, and that is how things go on in this world. She strongly believes that being a mother of a child, she is right in advising her child to be good and gentle. And so, both mother and child are kind to the little creatures like snail. So, this poem that reminds us of another saying. What is that? Yes, do as I say, but don't do as I do. ಸೊ ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆ ಮತ್ತು ನುಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿನ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಫ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಡ್ಕಾಕ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಚಿತ್ರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಾಯಿಯೊಬ್ಬಳು ತನ್ನ 5 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಿರುವಂತೆ ಈ ಪದ್ಯವನ್ನು ರಚಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಿಡೀ ಮಳೆ ಸುರಿದ ನಂತರ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬಸವನ ಹುಳು ಮಗುವಿನ ಕೊಠಡಿಯ ಕಿಟಕಿಯ ಅಂಚಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಿದಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಥೆಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಣೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಡಂತಹ ಮಗು ತಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ಕರೆದು ತೋರಿಸಿ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ತಾಯಿ ಆ ಹುಳುವನ್ನು ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಹರಿದಾಡಲು ಬಿಡಬೇಡ, ಆಗ ಅದು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ತುಳಿದು ಅಪ್ಪಚ್ಚಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು ಎನ್ನುವ ಎಚ್ಚರವನ್ನು ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ವಹಿಸ್ತಾಳೆ. ಆಗ ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಿ ಆ ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ಮೃದುವಾಗಿ ಕೊಂಡೊಯ್ದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಹಾರವಾದಂತಹ ಆ ಡ್ಯಾಫೋಡಿಲ್ ಹೂವಿನ ಬಳಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದಂತಹ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಿ ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ಪಾಲನೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾಡುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಕಲಿಯುತ್ತಾರೆಯೇ ವಿನಃ ಆಡುವುದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿ ಕಲಿಯುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂಬ ಮಾತಿನಂತೆ ಈ ಮಗು ತಾಯಿ ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ನಡೆದಂತೆ ಮಗು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವುದನ್ನು ಆ ಸಂದರ್ಭವನ್ನು ಚಿತ್ರಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗು ಕೇವಲ ತಾಯಿಯ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಯೇ ತನ್ನ ಸಭ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ರೂಢಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲಿಯನ್ನು ಬೋನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡಿಯುವುದು ಮತ್ತು ಕಾಡು ಹಕ್ಕಿಗಳನ್ನು ಗುಂಡಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಲ್ಲುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿನ ಮರಿಗಳನ್ನು ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗಿಸಿ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಆಟವನ್ನು ನೋಡುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗಮನಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲೂ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ನಡೆನುಡಿಗಳನ್ನು ಆಡಿದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ಲೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳದೆ ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ನೀಡಿದಂತಹ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದು ಬಸವನ ಹುಳುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕರುಣೆ ತೋರು ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದಂತಹ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಮಗು ಅದನ್ನು ಪಾಲಿಸುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಉನ್ನತ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿರಿಯರಾದವರು ಸ್ವತಃ ಆ ಮೌಲ್ಯವನ್ನು ರೂಢಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿರೂಪಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸಹ ರೈಮ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಸಪದಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದು. ಪ್ರಾಸಪದ ಎಂದರೇನು, ಅದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ರೈಮ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪೋಯಮ್. Okay, so I will show you the rhyme scheme and that pattern. Okay, so all of you observe this poem carefully and understand it clearly. So now I will give, okay students, now I will give you the important questions. So once again recall of it. Yes, all of you observe. I hope all of you understood the today's class.